Good evening, and welcome to HPU News. I'm David Wintrode.
And I'm Sydney Goldberg. Tonight, President Trump's address at the UN General Assembly.
And credit report agency Equifax under fire after a massive cyber attack affecting millions.
And could children diagnosed with ADHD simply be sleep deprived?
But first, let's check in on the weather with everyone's favorite weather person, Kit Curtis. Kit?
Thanks, guys. Right now, Hurricane Maria is barreling through the Caribbean as we speak and is currently responsible for the deaths of 18 people in the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. This Category 3 storm is likely to swing up into the Atlantic and miss the United States, but we will keep you updated. But as for our national pressures, over here in the northwest area, they are experiencing a high pressure system, which means that they will be getting some clear skies, whereas over here in the northeast region, it is a low pressure system, so they may be experiencing some rain and some cloudy skies. But as you can see over here where we are in the Carolinas and East Coast, we are experiencing a high pressure system, so it's going to be pretty clear skies with pretty moderate temperatures. Now let's take a look at our national temperatures. Over here in the northwest, it is going to be some high 50s and all the way ranging to high 40s. Now down in Southern California, they're experiencing some mid 70s as always. Over here in the Midwest region, it's going to be low 60s, high 50s. But the big news in the national temperatures are the severe strikes of the heat temperatures in the Plain States, which really means that they are at risk for some fires. So there is a fire warning out in places like Oklahoma. Now over here in the northeast region, similar to the Midwest, it is low 60s with a chance of some low 70s. And then over here where we are in the Carolinas, East Coast area, it is some low 70s. It will be some low 80s as well. And down here in my favorite state is Florida. It's going to be a high 88 degrees as always. Now let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. Now over here on Thursday, it's high 85, low of 65. Friday, partly cloudy, same thing, high of 85, low of 64. Saturday, still pretty cloudy, high of 85, low of 61. Sunday, again, partly cloudy, partly sunny, high of 83, low of 62. Monday, same thing, high of 83, low of 64. Tuesday, high 82, low of 64. And Wednesday, it's going to be a high of 86 and a low of 63. So if you're looking forward to going to maybe a club baseball game this weekend or even a soccer game, that would be a great time to do that. But I would say bring your sunglasses because it's going to be sunny. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Kit. And for the citizens in the Dominican and Puerto Rico, stay indoors and stay safe.
Yesterday, President Trump made his debut at the UN General Assembly, bringing back some drama. He claims the U.S. would totally destroy North Korea if Kim Jong-un continues threatening countries with this nuclear program. Trump then moved on to Iran, saying that the Iran nuclear deal was complete embarrassment for the U.S. President Trump faces a deadline next month deciding if Iran is continuing with the deal. Trump ended his stating that the UN mission should be that all member countries, quote, stand together for peace.
Also tonight, the body count in Mexico continues to rise as 237 people were killed by the 7.1 magnitude earthquake that occurred yesterday. Rescue operations continued today as thousands of volunteers dug through collapsed buildings looking for survivors. According to President Enrique Nieto, rescue workers have pulled more than 50 survivors out of the rubble across the country, and they show no sign of stopping.
Consumer credit card reporting agency Equifax has gone into full corporate chaos recently after the cyber attack affecting more than 143 million in the United States and in Canada. Credit card numbers have over 290,000 people were stolen. In addition, hackers were able to gain access to their social security and driver's license numbers, names, address, and consumers. This is Equifax's second security breach this year.
It's turning out to be a big weekend here on High Point's campus, where it's Parents' Weekend.
Filling in for Toby this week, Allie or Tulani with your campus update. Allie?
Hi everyone, welcome to your campus update. There's plenty to cover for Parents Weekend, but first, Spanish majors and minors, listen up. The Cafe La Torrilla is meeting on the second floor of Starbucks in Cottrell tomorrow from 12 to 1 p.m. Practice your Spanish, drink some coffee, or just come and hang out. And then, starting on Friday, is Family Weekend tomorrow. There will be a showing of Cars Theory at 3 and 9 p.m. in the Extraordinaire Cinema. Again on Friday, Charcoal Pony will be performing at the Pauline Theater at 8:30. Also performing at the Pauline Theater will be High Point's men and women a cappella groups. Come out to Hayworth at 2 p.m. on Saturday. Finally, on Saturday in the Pauline Theater, we have our fall choral concert on Saturday at 7 p.m. on Sunday. Join High Point's faculty members Robert Hallquist and Matt Kiefer as they perform pieces of the famous composer Robert Schumann at 3:30 in the Hayworth Memorial Chapel. And don't forget the Family Weekend Chapel service on Saturday at 10 a.m. with Reverend Preston Davis and Catholic Mass on Sunday at noon. That's all next week. Have a great night, and back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Allie, for the campus update. Hopefully everyone's enjoying seeing their families this weekend.
Well, now it looks like the U.S. has another competitor in the self-driving car business. Chinese search engine company Baidu set up at a $1.1 billion self-driving car fund earlier today. Baidu's cars have access to the latest obstacle evasion technology and high-definition maps, among other features, to rival U.S. companies.
A recent report from Sports Illustrated listed the top 50 fittest men and women in sports around the globe. For men, the top 3 descending orders are tennis legend Roger Federer, Cavaliers forward LeBron James, and fittest male athlete in the world, according to Sports Illustrated, is Real Madrid's Cristiano Ronaldo. For the women's top 3 All-Americans are swimmer Katie Ledecky, sprinter Allie Felix, and the 4'9", 20-year-old gymnast superstar Simone Biles.
Joining us now is our sports analyst Kevin McMahon, but first, Kevin, what do you think of that list?
I have a little bit of a problem with that list.
Why?
Because number 11, Triple G, and number 5, James Harrison, Triple G, a world-renowned boxer, and James Harrison, a defensive back for the Steelers. All the pictures they used with James Harrison, he had a shirt on. That's all I'm going to say. And Triple G had a shirt off. The guy looks great. Let's switch those two. I mean, one guy plays defense and one is unbelievably ripped. Come on, come on. Also, I have a little bit of breaking news coming in. It just got announced that Austin White, High Point point guard, is going to be the opening act in the fall concert. So, yeah, he's a rapper too. So that's going to be awesome. So make sure to get there early. That's next week. Okay, let's get into some sports. Non-conference play came to an end on Sunday for the High Point women's soccer team as they beat Marshall 1-0 on Sunday. Thanks to a Bree Jean-Charles goal, the Panthers begin Big South play this Saturday as they travel to Farmville, Virginia to take on the Longwood Lancers. After winning the tussle in the Triad, the High Point volleyball team began Big South Conference play on the road Tuesday night as they took on the Liberty Flames. High Point beat the Flames in 4 sets. The Panthers were led by Katie Tileman and Molly Livingston. Tileman had 18 kills and 2 blocks, while Livingston had 17 kills and 3 blocks. High Point is 8-6 overall and 1-0 in the Big South Conference. The Panthers continue their Big South road trip as they will play the Bucks of Charleston Southern in Charleston, South Carolina on Saturday. The last 3 games for the High Point men's soccer team have each been double overtime affairs. The first game taking place last Tuesday against the Davidson Wildcats. They finished 1-1 in that one. The Panther goal was scored by Justin Shear on Saturday. HPU hosted USC Upstate. A Hunter Allen goal in the 73rd minute would tie up the game at 1. After 110 minutes, the game would end in a draw. On Tuesday, the Panthers traveled to Winston-Salem to take on the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest. In what was a hard-fought defensive battle, Wake Forest John Baccaro would score the game-winning goal in the 104th minute. The Panthers open up Big South Conference play on Saturday against UNC Asheville on the road in the Ville. Last Saturday, the women's cross-country team won the Big South Preview in Lynchburg, Virginia. The Panthers had 5 runners finish in the top 6. Famke Hinst finished first overall. She's the first overall race champion for HPU since Kelly Hayes at the Upstate Invitational on October 3rd, 2015. Famke Heinst is the Big South Runner of the Week. This is the 2nd time she has received that honor this season. Up next for the Panthers is a trip back to Lynchburg, Virginia for the Virginia Panorama Farms Invitational on Saturday, September 23rd. And the men's cross-country team finished 4th overall at the Big South Preview. Alejandro Juan Torres finished as the runner-up with a time of 26:43.3 in the 8K. Next for the men's cross-country team is the Upstate Invitational in Spartanburg, South Carolina on September 30th. That's all the sports I have for you this week. I'll see you next week, and always, go Panthers. Dave, Sydney.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Kevin. Always great to hear from you.
Yes, thanks, Kevin. But coming up, could an ADHD be confused with a sleeping disorder? Find out after these messages.
So we're good? What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Welcome back to HPU News. I'm David Wintroud.
And I'm Sydney Goldberg.
Over the past few years, there have been increased levels of kids with ADHD symptoms. According to leading studies, most of the symptoms of ADHD are heavily mitigated once one or more issues with a child's sleep patterns are addressed. As research continues, some evidence points to the theory that ADHD itself may be a sleep disorder, which would greatly affect the way we treat it. The Washington Post says, quote, a growing number of researchers are proposing many kids today simply aren't getting the sleep they need, leading to challenging behaviors that mimic ADHD. End quote. Young people today are under more demands than ever and could be suffering for it. Sleep is good, people.
Now, one person who doesn't get enough sleep because they work so hard is our pop culture reporter, Livy Beener. Livy, what's going on in the entertainment world?
Thanks, guys. Hey, it's good to be back. Although this summer was totally lacking in the box office, it has resurrected the movie scene with nearly $5 million gross just on Tuesday alone, and nearly $230 million total after being released just 13 days ago. American Assassin, released just 4 days ago, has pulled an impressive $18 million but remained in a consistent second place. Mother, released on the same day as American Assassin, is pulling under $1 million a day but still sitting in third place. Now, the music scene has also been relatively quiet recently. Country artists Kip Moore and Thomas Rhett have both released albums this month, and the Foo Fighters also released their 9th studio album titled Concrete and Gold on September 15th. And finally, on Friday, Fergie releases her first visual album and second studio album, Double Duchess, after the iconic The Duchess in 2006. She's only released 3 teaser songs since then, LA Love in 2014 and MILF and Life Goes On in 2016. Nearly a year later, she's finally ready to release the follow-up to an album of anthems for an entire generation. Now, hopefully this is not a glimpse into the entertainment future. The rest of the year has a lot to make up for. So back to you guys.
Now, I've actually read the book It, but I haven't seen the movie yet. You've seen it though, right?
Yes, no, it was great. I would 100% recommend it if you're into a horror movie. That I was obsessed with it. Very scared, had nightmares afterwards, but...
Are you trying to, is that you trying to sell it to me?
I'm trying to sell it to you
Okay.
if you're interested in horror movies.
Oh, of course,
okay.
of course.
With next, well, Amazon recently sent out a bunch of random customer emails saying, quote, a gift from their baby registry has been purchased. For their non-existent baby. Amazon has customers informed based on things you previously purchased online, but it appears that they have been a little off base this recent attempt. Spokesperson responded saying it was a technical glitch that caused the email alert to be sent out, and that affected Amazon users were alertly reported. Some affected consumers joked on social media saying that Amazon knew more about this than they thought. Now, Dave, what do you think your Amazon search history says about you?
I have to be honest, if anyone knew my Amazon search history, you wouldn't even want to be in the room with me. You'd be that scared. I don't want to talk about it. Lastly, tonight, Colorado police are on the lookout for a jogger who has made a weekly habit of interrupting her jogging by defecating in the same neighborhood that she's running in. Kathy Bundy, a local resident, and her children have nicknamed the jogger the Mad Pooper. Bundy has been told by police to take pictures of the woman in order to identify. Who would want to do that? Police Sergeant Jonathan Sharketti deems this case, quote, uncharted territory, end quote. Honestly, there are too many jokes to make right now. We can't talk about this. We don't have the time to say everything that needs to get said.
Yes, and unfortunately, we don't have the time for that tonight. Check back with us next week for the same time for your High Point World News. Thanks for turning into HPU News. I'm Sydney Goldberg.
And I'm David Winchard. Good night, High Point.